Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. It is no longer Pride Month, so I no longer have to be nice to Alex.
Taking full advantage of that one so far.
100%. You're a piece of shit. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Another week, another handful of things to discuss in the world of Joshi wrestling, and yeah, we're here to do that. I hear your favorite WWE Evolve is going to feature Victoria Yuzuki this week.
Of course, yeah. Her and Syuri is also an Evolution. WWE is working with both major
Evolution
Joshi
is a
stars
mystery.
at once. Yes, it is. It's a good
Except
one.
Rhea Ripley's definitely winning. That's the one.
For sure.
That's not a mystery.
That's all we need. We don't mind that. We don't mind.
Yeah,
EO, we got a date in Sumo Hall for you. Maybe you wanna make sure you drop that belt. Yeah. Let's oh yeah, I have to plug. Head on over to the 5-star-network.com for all the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. And head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this as well as shows like Actress Stage all go up. There's also No Limit Wrestling. I have heard nothing about your next No Limit endeavor, but I'm
we
sure
are
it's happening.
previewing the G1
That sounds awful. Why would you do that to Xavier?
because Xavier's the one who came up with it. I said, sure, I'm always down to preview the tournament.
Why would he want that? I don't get it. But
I think he just wants to bitch, truthfully.
But that's what his own show is for. Is that not?
Yeah, but I think he
his
likes.
own-
I think he likes bitching to someone who will be like, "Well, that's not that bad," and then he's just gonna get meaner. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's
Like,
fair.
I think
Yeah,
that's
you
like
are very passive sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really like. It's not that big of a deal. Though I am very upset with New Japan right now, so like even I won't be particularly happy.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad company.
Yeah, I mean, I know most like a lot of people don't. I like Zack Sabre Jr. How are you gonna make me like pissed about Zack Sabre Jr. title reign? Like the worst timing I have ever seen of all time. Imagine if Gunther, imagine if Jey Uso was like the best wrestler in the world right now, and Gunther has sucked all year. And they did what they did in WWE. It's the same thing. Like that's the one to
That
one.
would be valid because Goldberg would just beat the shit out of whoever and win the
But there's no
belt.
Goldberg.
Because he should.
There's
Yeah,
no Goldberg.
Japan should
At
have
best,
Goldberg. They should make an offer.
I mean, like they should hurry up Aaron Wolf's training and just have him squash Zach.
No,
Real
they
Texas.
should like build it. Goldberg should beat Zach and then
Oh my
face
God.
Wolf
You're just
at
obsessed with
WrestleMania.
Goldberg.
He's great. He's an all-time great. It's not my fault.
Fine. I think he's cool.
He is excellent. He's one of the best ever. Not even doing a bit. He is.
I know you're not.
Anyway, yeah, that's all that. Have fun with the G1. Because we'll have two of our tournaments of our own to preview eventually if we ever get our ducks in order for that. Because I've just kind of ignored both of them. But
Well, I mean, neither of them have blocks out yet.
that's true, but we could probably do enough on Marigold at this point. But anyway, it's
That
fine.
also just happened 2 days ago.
Marigold? Oh shit, yeah, they only decided. I forgot. Yeah, all right. We're gonna start with Stardom. We have news from the world of Stardom, which is that Syuri announced after her latest match that she will be taking a break from pro wrestling after the Korakuen this weekend. She basically said she has a lot of injuries that she wants to heal up from, and she also wants to go abroad and do some training, which has led to some interesting tweets from people. I do think she will wrestle abroad. I think she can wrestle 1 or 2 dates, and it'll be fine to help her rest. Probably AEW Ring of Honor. Mercedes Moné probably seems like the type to want a match with Syuri. Athena too. They're both very into that, so she might get 1 or 2 dates there over the next few months. But for our show, obviously the important part is that she won't be in the 5-star Grand Prix. It was a pretty big loss. I mean, you're looking at a 5-star without Syuri, Mayu, Tam, and Micah. Whatever you may think of Micah, like those are 4 very solid pro wrestlers who can kind of carry anybody in their block, and on their day can have one of the best matches of the tournament. And you are without 4 of them. And I think this can be a very difficult thing for Stardom to overcome this year, with Ami Sourei in line to be a big part of the tournament just off of an 11-month layoff. So she's not going to do any heroics. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they try and fill the void of those 4.
Yeah, I'm actually I wanted to go back and look at it really quickly. Yeah, so last year my top 2 wrestlers in the tournament were Mayu and Tam Nakano. Both of them are gone this year.
Mhm.
Shuri and Kid were at the top of their block. Kid is obviously still there, but Shuri is gone. Micah didn't really have a good tournament last year, even though she won it. And then back in 2023, a similar story can be said if I can pull it up quick enough because it closed right when I was trying to say something. Um, yeah, similarly, Mayu was my number 2, Micah was my number 4. Suzuki and Hazuki and Shuri rounded out the 5. So 3 of my top 5 in 2023 as well is not in this tournament this year. And Hazuki is looking like she will be, if she's in it, if that's a net, if she probably
T-shirt
won't be.
Naitoing the entire
Yeah,
thing.
she probably won't be competing at the level that she once was, just out of like apathy. And Suzu isn't at the level she was in 2023 because if you remember, Suzuki was like one of the top 3 wrestlers in the entire world in
That was the
2023.
year she won it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she
Such a
also was just
fascinating few
she was
months.
great. Like she was one of the only like great wrestlers that year because that year was like
That was the
it
injury
was a
year.
mess. It was a mess
Yeah.
in Stardom and like just worldwide, just in
Mm.
wrestling. It was kind of a mess of a year. So Suzu was one of the real highlights there. Um, so yeah, if you look at the past, handful of years, I can probably go back to 2022, but I'm not going to. If you go back the last couple of years, um, you're missing a lot of the core of what you want. What of who you want to kind of perform well here. Um, Again, going back to 2022, Julia and Mayu are gone. Julia was one of the highlights. So it's like this is going to be like uncharted territories for this year's tournament without Shuri,
Yeah.
especially.
Putting a lot of weight on Sai Kamatani, I think, and people like Starlight Kid, which is asking a lot of them. But maybe this is why you haven't had Sai Kamatani do a whole lot since Yokohama, is to like rest up in some
Yeah, but
ways ahead of the GP.
a champion can't like carry a tournament really. Like
I think
the
she will
champion is
try.
always the least interesting like top wrestler in a tournament any given year.
I don't think
Um,
that applies to current
ex-
Sai Kamatani.
Actually, I think it does. I don't think Sai is like this work rate powerhouse this year. I think she's been very good, but I don't think she's like gonna like
Yeah, but
I think that's
she's
asking
the
a lot out of
she's
her.
the focal point. She's the like star power and charisma and story arc stuff. Like she'll do an in tournament story, or she'll make every match stand out in
I
some degree with her gimmick.
I
And I
don't think
think that
that's true.
you're asking a lot of her to do all that. But I don't
See,
know.
but you're already setting her up for like a cushion with your language here.
Well,
You're saying her
not
tournament should be great, but
necessarily.
if it isn't, it isn't her fault. I think that's a bit lame.
I'm just saying they're asking a lot of her um in the tournament. I don't know if that's insanely controversial, but
No, you're right. I they they need to get Sauri in this. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, that's true. Maybe Siri missed out, so that maybe they were like, "Hey, sorry, do you want to take her spot and we can let Siri rest up or something?" That would be kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, that is all from the news as far as I know. I know Saya Kamatani's doing that TV show every Friday for the next 3 months, which I think is fascinating. Um, I do wonder if she's going to be tempted away from wrestling to some degree, because just about everybody would take fame without the bumps. But I know I was talking to Velke about it. He was kind of like, I think her appeal to the TV world is that she's a
Is that she is a
wrestler,
wrestler?
not
Yeah.
her herself. So I don't know. Maybe I was a bit too early on that, but I do think them asking for her for 3 months is an interesting thing of like, hey, we really like Sayaka Matani. Can we get more of her? And that can very easily kind of go to you want to work here instead of taking back bumps every day. But we'll have to wait and see. There's only one thing to really review from the past week of Stardom. We don't do the house shows anymore, as people know, but they did a Goddess of Stardom championship match in Osaka in the main event of the very first house show they did this past week. They had 503 fans at Edion Arena number 2. That was down from the artist three-way thing, I believe, at about 600 as far as I can remember.
Damn, wait, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that did
That's
600 plus.
it's gonna be hard,
But I could be incorrect. Um,
potentially.
we had Wingori defend against Unimon and Saki in 17 and a half minutes when Sai Ida won with the Take Care, which is essentially just her lariating the fuck out
No,
of Unimon.
no,
No?
it's the Muscle Buster.
Oh, it's the Muscle Buster. I just remembered her lariating
Tomo knee.
the fuck out of Unimon. This is a very, very good match. It was essentially an extended Ida Unimon match. I
Yep.
couldn't tell you anything Saki did, which is probably for the best. Ida and Unimon are both excellent wrestlers, but they're also excellent together. Like they just work. And so they were just chopping the shit out of each other. They were throwing lariats. There was a part where Unimon was doing like these clubbing shots to Ida, and it was insane. And like they could just wrestle forever, and I think I'd be into it. So this was a very, very good defense for Wingori and a real standout for Ida and Unimon because they just stole the show fully.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, I thought Saki and Hanan did well as well, but I did think that Ida and Unimon consistently. I was talking about it. Um, I was making two of my friends, who will not be named, watch me play The Sims 2 last night after we watched wrestling, and they asked me, a random question about a certain wrestler carrying others, and we were talking about Unimon, and I was like, I think I trust Unimon more than like most of the roster right now.
Yeah,
Just to like have a good performance, elevate a match, give what she can to the match. Um, and I think this was a great example of that. Like I think that she really went all out, really like put her neck on the line and just was getting killed and killing in return. And that's what you wanted from this match. I mean, Ida obviously is probably the wrestler I trust the most in this company, if I'm being fully honest, from a work rate perspective. So getting to see them kind of like really go at it in a high stakes situation was a lot of fun. And Saki did well, which I'm always happy to see. She doesn't always, but when she does, she's a treat. And Hanan meshed very well with Saki as well. So I was generally quite happy with what this match was. Even though
yeah,
they kept panning to Natsupoi and Syuri on the outside seconding, doing nothing, like just watching. And I was like, what are we? Is this necessary? Like I'm trying to watch the
praise.
match,
Gotta praise what's going on. Go show the big title contenders doing
but they
their thing.
just lost like 3 days
Yeah, but
before this.
they're title contenders. They're challenging for the top two belts now.
No, they aren't.
Yes, they are. Well,
Only
one of
one of them
them.
is.
Well, one of them will eventually. They're gonna have Kid ask Anno and her just be like, nah, sorry. Like, come on now. But yeah, no, this was everything I think we know Unimon can do. Because people obviously weren't locked into Choco Pro,
Mhm.
mid-pandemic, but she was a standout of Choco Pro. I remember they did a brief like heel run with her, and it was just fantastic. Her and Emi Sakura had this insane match with Unimon as like disrespecting Choco Pro and swearing and just standing up for everything Emi hates, and it was an insanely good match. And ever since then, I've often been like, when is Stardom going to use at Unimizumori? Like, when are we going to
Mhm.
let her fully explore the capabilities of what she can do? And this was one of those first matches since she's jumped where I've kind of gone, yeah, that's the full Unimizumori that I know.
I don't know if I would say it was the first match of hers to do that. It's definitely like the most notable recent match of hers to do that. But yeah, because I agree. Unimon, and I've said this a lot, and people kind of like are like, like don't believe me that Unimon in Choco Pro in Gato Move was like a a real different animal in comparison to everybody else in Choco Pro and in comparison to what Unimon has been for Stardom and for Cosmic Angels especially. So I agree. I think that like the more you can find of her really standing out, the better, because like this match was a great example of her standing out. But basically every notable match she had in Choco Pro was her standing out, and that's what made her run there so great. Um, so yeah, I can see the comparison almost. The like this is what you want from her. Because yeah, I was greatly impressed.
All right. This ended up being a very eventful show. They set up like 4 different title matches, as far as I can remember, just through promos and other stuff. So first off was Hate challenged Neo Genesis officially for the artist belts, and they are running that at Korakuen, so I'll preview it. Um, let's see. Akira challenged Hina for the future Stardom title, which they are also running at Korakuen. The big one is Natsupoi challenged Saya Kamatani. So kind of one of the big matches we've been expecting from Cosmic Angels versus Saya is finally happening at the Sapporo show, and kind of Natsupoi is slotted in as maybe the first like major defense for Kamatani, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's a
Post
big
Tam,
match
obviously.
post yeah. It's a pretty big match. It's one of the bigger matches they can do at the moment, given the babyface side has been kind of eviscerated by departures and injuries. I think Natsupoi is one of the leading, most protected baby faces as far as their long-term protection goes. Anyway,
I was gonna say
so
not this week.
yeah, no, but long term, she's been fairly protected. So yeah, I think like Natsupoi versus Saya is a really good match to make for Sapporo, and it's a very good pre GP defense just to kind of close that chapter to an extent and let Saya go ahead with what's next.
Yeah. Um. At first, I was like, oh, that's kind of silly. Uh, Natsupoi doesn't drop a fall, like notably for like a year, and then the second that she does, she challenges for the red belt. I was like, that's an interesting way to do it. But ultimately, I think it's the right move. I think putting Saya against Natsupoi was like the obvious. I mean, I personally I thought that uh, Saya versus Ano made more sense post Tam, but obviously they are more behind Natsupoi, which isn't surprising. Natsupoi is the one that's been there longer, and she has a deeper tie to just the company itself. Like if Ano were to leave next year just because she didn't feel like staying, I wouldn't be surprised. If Natsupoi left, it would be like, what the fuck do you mean? So
Yeah,
I get Natsupoi kind of being more cemented in that, and kind of being who they want to go after first. Um, yeah, but it's a very funny way of doing it. But I obviously think it was probably the right choice, because that's a match you got to run, and I don't know what
hmm
their plans are for post 5 star, how they will do the 5 star winner and what they'll do there. But unfortunately for 6 star, I wasn't penciling in Natsupoi as a winner of the 5 star. So getting her out of the way here, no harm, no foul for me.
yeah. And speaking of her tag partner, Starlight Kid challenged Sayori Ano, who immediately said no. So they're
Yeah,
doing a thing there where Kid wants a match and Ano doesn't. So I don't know if she's gonna antagonize her into doing it or what. But yeah, as of now, Ano has been like, "Yeah, I don't really want to face you, Starlight Kid. Like, I'm not really interested."
we haven't really felt the impacts of it personally because we haven't been watching the house shows. But Suzu hasn't been working
Yes.
since the May match. She's worked like a weekend here or there, but she's been prominently missing, like notably missing from
hmm
most of the tours. So obviously this is an assumption. I really hope that she comes back and it's all uh well and fine. But like she is a potential miss for the 5 star too. Which
Yeah.
if you remember back to my uh couple years, Suzu also someone that would, you know, from 2022 and 20 or yeah, from 2022 and 2023, who was a very prominent figure in both of those tournaments. Um, Last year, not so much, but also would be greatly diminishing the quality of the tournament.
Suzu is on the
And
Korakuen,
also,
by the way, so she
is
is
she?
back. Yeah, she's on the
Well,
Korakuen.
but she was on the Osaka show too until the morning of.
Oh, I don't know. You must not have seen it. She had a family thing.
Oh, was she?
It wasn't an injury. Yeah. It was she was pulled for personal reasons. I
Oh,
think she had a
okay.
family problem. Yeah, so it wasn't
Different
like
then.
she got injured again because I know she has been on and off with illness and injury and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I think this one was family stuff.
Okay. I didn't see the official report. I just knew that she was gone day of, like that she was
Yeah.
not there. But okay. That lessens my worry. Hope everything's well with her, obviously. But yeah, so that was a bit of a worry. But also I still am questioning why they go with the Ano thing instead of the Suzu thing
Yeah, I don't
pre
know if
5 star.
Ano was like a panic move and they just set it up just in case. And Suzu is back now, but I am also baffled why they aren't running Suzu versus Kid. When that's been built up for months now. Like just run it. You're not gonna drag that to December. If you drag that to December, that's ridiculous. Um, but like they went with Ano briefly, but Ano said no. So I don't really know what the story is there or what they're trying to do with that one. But that's the white belt. I don't. I think I'd hate a Kid Syuri Ano match. I think that would be really good. I imagine it would be at the Sapporo show, so it'd be second or
I
third
do
from
think
the
it would
top.
be I think it would be an upgrade from their matches, excuse me, an upgrade from their matches with Kid as a heel. Because I
Mm,
thought those were not good. I think they had two.
of course,
I might have been
I
blanking.
can't remember.
Um, but no, I felt like they didn't click because Kid's heel work. More
Yeah,
so than like
you were
other.
notably not the fan here of Kids heel
I know,
work,
but
so
there were wrestlers where I was like, okay, that could work, whatever. But I think her and Ano specifically should work quite well with Kid as a babyface. Um, Comparably to her as a heel. Same with like Hanan. Obviously, Hanan was never a heel, but I think Hanan and Ano work super well because Ano gets to kind of be the gets to don the black hat a little
yeah.
bit, even though she's not full on heel. I think it's similar for a Kid. I think that could really work out quite well. But that's the weird match. I don't know why they even like panic button that one. I feel like there were better options. Um, but that's just me.
Well, Suriano is just a big deal, and they need big matches for Sapporo, so it would work. But yeah, Kid has never beaten Nano one-on-one, so that would be an interesting little wrinkle to that. Um, I don't know if this happened last week or if it was already set up, but BMI 2000 also challenged for the Goddess belts officially.
That was
Um,
after the title match.
Oh yeah, that would
Second.
make sense. Like we kind of knew that was happening when they beat FWC on the pay per view. That seemed like a fairly logical next step. And Rocca especially is kind of getting some wins. So I think they're gonna make Rocca versus Hanan maybe a focal point of that match, and Tora and Ida can kind of just be part times. But it does seem like they're going in on Rocca there, and FWC. Not FWC BMI 2000 is going to be a big defense for Wingori,
I mean,
presumably
I
at Sapporo, but as of now, they have no official date for it.
I could see that being like a block final, not block final, but a final night of the block type of deal.
Rocca
For
Hanan?
Yeah, I could
Oh,
see
that'd
I
be
could
cool.
see Ruaka and Natsuko winning the belts,
Yeah,
Ruaka over
for sure.
Hanan, and then Hanan going through to the second stage, whatever they end up doing, if it's the final or a tournament, like a playoff.
Quarterfinal,
I could
maybe?
see, yeah, like regardless of what it is, I think Hanan can advance off of a win over Ruaka to
Yeah,
kind of do that 50-50. Because yeah, I mean that's always an easy one to go back to. Ruaka
yeah,
and
for sure.
Hanan work well together, and they've always been kind of attached since they were a tag team in their early days.
Yeah, and I know they had the future change of
Yeah, the
hands
future
on
future rivalry.
big pay per view.
Raka pinned Hanan earlier this year, and it looked like that was going to
Yeah,
be a title match, and it wasn't. So,
yeah. Yes, they're building. But that was every title match they set up. They only announced dates for 3 of them. So there's a few still in limbo. I know Bazilla challenged Azumi. and they haven't announced a
Wait,
date
what
for that.
is the date officially for Sapporo for BMI, or is that
Yes. No, there's no date for BMI. Sorry.
okay? Well,
It's
what's the artist? Yeah.
yes. So Saya versus
Not
Poi is
spoiler.
official for Sapporo.
Mhm.
Then they're running this weekend. It's the future and the artist. So um,
Hazuki's 11th anniversary is this week. That's crazy.
that's
Obviously,
crazy.
obviously she took a year off, but
Yeah, you have to take
2
some
years
time out
off
of that.
altogether. Yeah.
She retained as well the Spark Joshi belt for those
Yes, she did.
interested. She
And
ended up
Koguma.
wrestling Maya World. Was that a late change? Because I
No, that
thought she
was
was
always the
facing someone else.
no, it was always my world.
That's so weird because I thought it was somebody else, and then it popped up as Maya
No,
World. Yeah,
Koguma, I guess like was just like showed up and was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm hurt. I'm not wrestling." Because
yeah,
just out of nowhere she was pulled like a couple hours earlier, and B Priestley took her spot.
yep.
So Koguma got a free vacation to hang out with Suzuki and do some photo like uh, what is it, fan
I'd say,
signings,
yeah,
meet and greets, and didn't have to wrestle. Very funny.
it's pretty beast.
Also, a B Hazuki reunion. Everybody, one of those old uh, folklores that they hated each other.
Oh
They
shit,
they
yeah.
seemed very happy to see each other.
Um, let's see. They don't have it there. There's two shows to preview. The first is a New Blood 23. This is in Itabashi. I thought this was in Tokyo Square in Itabashi. Yeah, I thought it was the Green Hall for some reason. Now the translations on this are awful. So I don't know if I'm gonna get all these names right. For some reason, the autocorrect is having a nightmare with the new blood names. And now it just won't even
Oh,
translate. So this is fun.
okay, I have
They don't have pictures, so I can't go off the pictures. You know.
I have 'em if you need them.
Okay.
Wait, actually, wait, who's that?
Yeah,
One of
that's what
them's
I
not
mean.
right.
There's like two or three of them that could be the same person.
One of them just says Saki, and I was like, that's not Saki. I know
No.
that for a fact.
Um, Also, the English tab on the website is not giving me English. It's giving
Mhm.
me Japanese. German is also giving me Japanese. So this is a pain. This is awful.
Yep,
I hate my
yep,
life.
yeah, same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Okay.
good.
That's great. Okay. Well, we're gonna try our best here. Um, Back to Japanese.
Okay, first match.
You got it? No.
No,
Okay. It's
I thought
Emma
I did.
Maishima. It's Emma
Versus
Maishima versus Rinami.
Rena.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is she not in the other match with Hanoka? Because it says Rin and Enka. And
that's Rion.
Enka is Hanoka. Oh, Rian. Okay, so it's Rina versus Emma. Okay,
Hmm.
that's it. Cool. Right. That's a pretty interesting match because Emma is like the high speed child of this lot, and Rina is obviously a very heelish wrestler. I think that could be an actually like interesting,
Former
fun
high speed
match.
challenger.
Yes.
Not a good
Oh yeah.
one, but a challenger nonetheless.
Yeah. Um. So Koryu Seika is, I'm gonna assume, um uh God's Eye,
No.
the God's Eye one, Kyoka. Is it Kyoka?
Oh, Katatsu?
Yeah. Is that her?
Maybe. I don't know. These names are not translated. Did they put these on the
Yeah.
Twitter?
I No, I don't think so.
This is hell. Like these are
It
worse
is.
translations than
We're
usual.
usually good at reading the translated names, but they're different this time. The whatever is happening, because I don't know a Koryu Seika. um, and I'm gonna assume it's Kotatsu, but I also can't fully be sure because she's never really worked New Blood before, so
Wait a
I don't
second.
know.
We might be being silly.
Are we sure?
Uh, yeah, that's Maya Fukuda.
Yeah. Okay. So I was right. Kotatsu.
Yep.
All right, so
Katatsu versus
Kyoka Kotatsu versus Kikyo Furusa. That's
Kikyo.
actually
That's what it is.
cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Kikyo and Kotatsu.
Should have made UWF rules.
Actually, no. But that's like two technical wrestlers going at it, so I think that could be good.
Mm.
Um, then there's Rian and Hanoka versus Saran and Goda Asuka, which I would give to Saran and Goda and just give them the tag belts.
I
because
agree.
at this point, what are we doing? Um, Hina, Lady C, and Rana Yagami take on Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Akira Kuragane.
Okay.
Interesting pairing there. Hina's
Should have
team,
got Bozilla on New Blood. She's like younger than
yeah,
almost all of these
that's true.
wrestlers.
Um, Akira probably wins because they're doing a preview tag for the Korakuen,
Yeah,
so
and I think
Akira
Hina's winning
wins.
anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. Then we have a New Blood Tag Championship match. Hanako and Waka defend against Momo Kogo and Yurihime. I highly doubt this is a change. Kogo never wins,
It should
and
be a
Yurihime
change.
never wins either.
It should be a goddamn change. They're both better
No.
than their opponents.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Um, yeah, this is a really phoned in New Blood. It does not really scream much of
Me neither.
interest. Like they're kind of lucky that the wrestlers are good. You know what I mean? Like Kikyo and Kotatsu is salvaged by the fact that they're a stylistic matchup. Same with Emma versus Rian. But everything else on it is just kind of like a shrug, you know. But I don't know. They just do New Blood because it's sponsored, don't they? Like their Stomping pays them. I wouldn't be shocked if the Itabashi place pays them to run here as well, just to
Mm.
get people's attention. Because nobody really ran Tokyo Square after it opened. They kind of have this big opening, and everybody kind of dropped it. So I wonder if they're like sponsoring the shows to a degree to get people to pay attention to the venue.
It's possible.
But that is the New Blood. Then there is obviously the more important show. It's on July 6th. They are in Korakuen Hall. Um, Nothing is sold out so far, according to the website, which is kind of
Oh, it
interesting
does
because they
have a
have
card.
been selling quite well. But yeah, no section sold out according to Stardom's website. We open with Momokoga versus Kikyo Furusawa. Kikyo is like the only youngin that Stars hasn't courted, or maybe she was the only one they've courted, and I forgot.
Hanan tried, yeah.
Yeah, but
That
nobody's
was her
joined.
debut opponent, remember? Hanan versus Kikyo.
Yes, it was Kikyo. And she didn't join because why would she? Yeah, Momokogo Kikyo. It's a match.
It's fine.
Momokogo's gonna win. That's kind of
Yeah,
nice. She never really wins.
happy to see that.
The next one is Amisori, Lady C, and Kyoka Kotatsu versus Suzu Suzuki, Itsuki Aoki, and Bozilla. I'm up in the air on this because Amisori hasn't actually lost since the hate match. She was on the winning team of every match over the past week. And obviously, I think she's going to win the GP. So I don't know if she gets the win here or if the Mi Vida Loca team wins and maybe challenges for the artist belts. Because if you were going to have an artist title change, it would be Bozilla Suzu Aoki instead of Akira.
Mm,
So
yeah.
maybe. But if
I mean, I
Amisori's
think,
team
yeah,
does win,
no,
she is pulling off some heroics.
I think Bozilla over Lady C is
That
the
as well, I
obvious.
think, would be Bazilla's first pinfall win since joining the company. I don't think she actually got any of the falls
Which,
over the past
like,
week.
yeah, she hasn't. She hasn't
Yeah.
won. I don't think. I think she's lost all of her matches.
I think she was on
Um,
the winning team and won, but yeah, like she hasn't been involved in any of the finishes, which is
yeah, I mean,
interesting considering
I
last
think
week I pitched she might be a short term thing.
maybe giving away her first big win in Stardom on a Gorgon just makes sense. Uh,
Yeah, that's true.
and also, you say, oh, Amisore is winning the tournament. I could see Bozilla pinning Amisore if I'm being completely honest, because shit don't matter.
Yeah, no, she could fully. As you
Yeah,
said, Natsupoi just lost for the tag belts
for the
and is
first
challenging
time in
Saya.
months, and is challenging
Yeah,
Saya. Yeah.
so
So
that can definitely
yeah,
happen.
I think Bozilla gets the dub here.
Okay, and then they challenge later
Or
in the show.
Suzu. I mean, if it really was like a panic button, I could see Suzu at the end of the show challenging Kid.
That's true.
Since like
Be a
Hanum
double
just seems
challenge, you know?
completely apathetic towards the idea. So I don't know.
All right.
I just think Mavita's Loco's winning.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Give me Aoki versus Ami minutes. Let me see some.
Uh, sure. I'm not sure you'll enjoy it, but yeah, cool.
I don't know. I
Um,
think Itsuki Aoki works decently with everyone,
it works
at
with
least.
everybody. Yeah, she's
That's
pretty
what you know what
good.
I mean. So it's like I think just giving her a block of clay powerhouse like Amisore. It's like Like I think there could be something there, and if there isn't, if it's actively like poor, then it's like okay, yeah, Ami has a way to go still. Again,
Yeah. All right. We then have Saki Kashima, Yuna Izumori, Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Yuria Hime versus Hazuki, Koguma, Wakasukiyama, Hanako, and Rian. Um, who knows, honestly? What a weird mix of things going on in this one. Um,
oh wow, yeah, they're
yeah, I
doing
just genuinely don't have any read. Like, none of these people have a
wait, yeah,
direction,
what is
so
yeah.
it's hard to really say who could win or who could lose. Um,
This is also like by this point, I'm assuming this is three factions versus one faction and an unaffiliated team. Because I'm
yes.
assuming Yurihime joins Stars at New Blood, even if she loses.
Oh,
Um,
that would be interesting. Yeah, I could
because like
see it.
they've been like you have to prove yourself first, and I think like even if she loses, it should probably be like you know what you proved yourself. She's already training with them exclusively. She's
Yeah,
already like
Stars
she
has been courting
usually,
the young wrestlers. They might as well get one
and it's not like you
eventually.
can't still do this. Like they don't really care. Like I said, this is like God's Eye and Cosmic Angels together makes no sense. So, but they're doing it because why not? So it's like, who cares? Just put the stamp of approval on Yuria, the Stars stamp of approval. If you remember, actually, her first really good match was against Mayu.
Yes, I
Look
remember
that up.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
Um,
pay-per-view opener, wasn't it? Just threw it
similar,
out there.
yes, it was. Similarly, I don't expect Hazuki and Koguma to join EXV. I don't know if EXV technically still exists. I feel like
I don't
I
fully
haven't even
know.
seen the branding recently. It feels like Damage Control until like this week when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're like officially dead. By the way, this doesn't exist at all."
Yeah,
Um, but where it's like without Micah, without hilariously, without Dakota Kai, this doesn't really exist. Um, so like you know, um, but yeah, I mean, FWC's taken pride in being independent, so they will probably remain that way. This match will probably be absolutely nothing. It'll probably have less of note than this spiel I just did about it does.
yeah, probably. Um, our next match is Mei Sarah versus Emma Maishima.
Just put the
Um,
fucking belt on the line. What are we doing?
yeah,
Who cares?
I if it wasn't for the fact that Emma is a rookie, I would think they would have her win and then challenge. It might still, because why the hell not? But yeah, I think this will just be a high speed match in disguise, and Mei
I
Sarah
think it
will
would
win.
be a lot of fun if Miss Sarah just grabbed the mic before the match and was like, "I haven't defended this in a while. Can we just do that? Let's just do that, like just impromptu." Because I get
Yeah,
not building a title match between these two because one of them has never won a match. But I think Miss Sarah just being like, "I'm kind of bored. Let's make this high speed," and
that
then
would rock.
they just do it. Like just like that's the beauty of being off the wall and abstract. Like Taro's booking is. You can do something like that, and like it would get less like eye rolls than a lot of things you do.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So just like
Yeah,
do cool stuff like that. Like why not? Who cares? Like get the belt back in motion because that shit doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned.
it is definitely not existed for a little bit. This would be a good match though. So,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
good stuff. We have the Syuri send-off match. It is Syuri versus Rani Yagami. I'm very into this. I think this will be really good.
Mm,
Syuri is gonna win, of course, but I think she's gonna try and like make Rana in defeat. So, and we've kind of seen Rana have those performances where she does lose, but loses up to an extent because she is very good and very fiery. So I think this could be a very good match and could help kind of get some buzz on Rana.
yeah. I mean, Rana had a better overall tournament performance last year than the current ace of the company. So, and she lost like every match. So I mean, like we can just keep doing that. You know what I mean?
I agree. We have a double preview tag. Natsupoi, Suriano, Hanan, and Saida take on Sai Kamatani, Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Ruaka. This is your work rate match for the night. Taro is so random because he understands the need to just have a great match sometimes. So he will just throw together the most random combination and go, here, make Dave give you 4 plus. Because yeah, I feel like this
Oh,
is gonna go crazy.
this is just super preview.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a double preview.
Yeah. Then Ano and Momo are just hanging out. Should probably be doing more, both of them, but they aren't. Uh, yeah, no, this will be great.
Well, hate is great, as you know. And I
Motherfucker, shut
also
the hell up. You're as
I
bad as
haven't been
Velke.
wrong. They are talented.
You're as
Are
bad
you
as
saying
Velke with
Momo
your
Watanabe, Ruaka, Natsuko Tora, and Saya Kamatani cannot deliver? You trying to tell me that those 4 wrestlers are not good?
not saying any of them are bad.
Well, listen, man. I don't know. All I
Saying
know is
one of them's great.
there's gonna be enough really fun stuff in this. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
Kamatani and
no, I
Natsuko
agree.
are gonna do their thing. BMI 2000 are gonna do some stuff with
No, the funny thing
Gori.
is that like I said, this match could be great. Like I'm not denying that. I just
I just think it's
don't like the way you
guaranteed. I
say
mean,
it.
it's Korakuen Hall. Hate is
Yeah,
great.
but dude, in Korakuen Hall, I have seen Momo do the exact like I don't know. I don't think Korakuen Hall matters to these motherfuckers no more. Like I think this could be great.
It matters to
Um,
us because the crowd is gonna be hot.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I
So
don't know. I think hate tags have a ceiling, and that ceiling is fairly
very
high,
high. Yeah.
but it's still the same match. Like they only do so much.
Okay.
Like there isn't much variation in these, 8-person hate tags is my kind of point.
Okay.
So I'm expecting maybe them to break formula a little bit, and if they do that, that'll be like make it pretty great. But it could also just be hate doing the formula
Okay.
one for one.
All right. Sure. Natsupoi over Saya.
I don't know, man. It doesn't matter. Like that,
Yeah.
like
No, it doesn't.
like this match, it does like it could be Natsupoi over Saya because Saya's winning there, or it could be one of the tag champions over like someone. Doesn't matter. It could be Momo over fucking someone. That's not happening actually. Oh
No.
my god. Um, yeah,
This is
no,
the only
yeah,
thing we can rule out. Is
yeah,
no
Momo winning.
Momo
No,
dubs. No.
shit. Even Ano could win and be like, actually, I am challenging Kid later. I have an
Yeah.
idea. Like, really anything except for Momo winning is possible. I hate my life. Oh my god.
What a world. What a world we live in. Our next match for the Future of Stardom Championship match. Hina defends against Akira Kuragane. I think this will be pretty fun. Hina
Yeah,
probably retains, but
Hina's
I'm
been very
interested
good.
to see what they can do.
And and honestly, I've been kind of doubting Akira lately. I think she has all of the vibes, but she has none of the work. Uh, if Hina can take her to the level that she needs her to get to, take it to whatever level is the level it takes, as that song said. Um, I think that we can see like what Akira is and can be in the immediate future. So
I see.
I
All
think this is
right.
a very important match.
I wouldn't go that far, but I do think it'll
I
be
don't know, like I
a
think
good
I
time.
think I think Hina and Rian showed me that it's like okay, there is like I get maybe not all of the hype for
Yeah,
Rian,
but you were
but
a
I
late
get
adapter to Rayan, so
yeah because she
that's
was
on
like
you.
the least consistent wrestler I've ever seen. Like,
Mm,
and she's
I
not
don't
even
know.
at a high level anyway. So it's like to be inconsistent and your heights aren't great, like that's concerning. Um, even a year and a half in, like it's still like, oh, so you can't even have. But her versus Hina was her first like notably very good match. Um, and while I'm not necessarily like saying, oh, this match needs to be as good as the Rion match, I need to see more out of Akira here because Hina's just the fighter. Like she just does the
Mm,
moves. She's not really like we're not about to get, like stare downs, aura fests where they, like that's not Hina. Um, you might be able to pull that shit with some other people. You can't pull it with Hina. Like you're gonna have to fucking fight. And that's all I really want from Akira is to see her fight. So
okay.
hopefully it
All
goes
right.
well.
Our main event then is for the Artist of Stardom Championship. Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Miyu Misaki defend against Konami, Rina, and Fukigen Death.
This is a test in a completely different way. This is to
Yeah,
test the the Neo Genesis artist title formula. Because if they can make this match very good, she
yeah, it's just
they're
a weird
good.
one. Like I don't really
Like I
get this combo of hate. Um,
Yoneyama's great. Rina's really,
Yeah,
really, really good. Konami isn't. But Yoneyama's death as Fukigen death in 2025,
in
uh,
a
in a title
high-paced trios
match
match. Are we sure?
is
Yeah.
a choice.
Like, it just depends on who they focus on. Because if it's Rina and Kid kind of just running it back, I think they'll be okay. But if it's Konami trying to like beat on Kevin, then we're doomed.
I don't think they'll do that. I think it's going to be Konami, Azumi, Rina, and Kid, and Miyu, and Death being the third strings, obviously.
Maybe.
Um, shit, I can even see Miyu over Death being like the finish. Um,
Um, kind of, yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
I would
think.
imagine Fuki and Death takes the fall regardless,
Yeah, I
but
don't think Hate can
yeah,
win
I
this.
don't know if it would be Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, or Azumi. I think Azumi or Kevin
Probably
over Death
Azumi.
is most likely.
Azumi
Yeah,
probably rolls her up and they do high speed stuff.
yeah, I could see Kid and Rina kind of being that like through line where they do
Yeah.
like Kid did with Natsupoi, I think it was,
Mm.
where it was a bit long, and I was like, can we get to like the big closing stretch now? And then we got to the big closing stretch, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah,
All right.
could it'll be a,
We believe
like I
in
said, a
Neo
test.
Genesis,
It'll be a
but
test for Neo
yeah, it is a
Genesis.
test. It's certainly an interesting pairing to put them against. But if they can get it here, then we're sorted. Um, I imagine there'll be a lot of movement after this match. They're obviously guaranteeing that in modern Stardom is like not possible, but surely one of the four active challengers for Kid or Azumi has to step forward at this point because you got to set more stuff up for Sapporo. You have another Korakuen in like 2 weeks' time. You got to do stuff. So either Azumi or Kid has to get at least one challenger after this.
Oh shit!
I'm
Wait, yeah,
standing by that.
you don't have much. Like I'm
No,
looking at the schedule now.
not a lot
Like
of
this
leg room.
Korakuen is really the last notable show before Sapporo. And then
Mhm.
the Korakuen after that is probably going to be like a preview for the 5-star more than anything. Maybe not
Good.
preview for the 5-star,
What
but
did they do
like
last year for before the 5-star? Because I can't remember what. I know Rossi used to run the block preview tags. Did Taro do the same?
great
'Cause I
question.
genuinely
I'm checking.
cannot remember
Uh,
how Taro did it last year.
oh well,
That's probably impossible to
Sapporo
find.
was like the last show before it, as far as I can tell.
Oh yeah, they did the show after where they had Kamatani in a 10-woman tag, didn't they? I remember that now. Because I vividly remember that was our first look
Oh
at
yeah.
Hate with her, and it was a 10-woman tag.
Wait, no.
No?
Was where was? Oh, it was a 3-on-3. It was
Oh, it was a 3-on-3. I
uh
thought it was a 10-woman.
Natsuko Ruaka and Saikam Taya versus Izumi Miyu and Kid.
Yes, yes. That was our first
Um,
glimpse of Heel Saya and
it
the
was
aura
lame.
farming.
Yeah. But,
All right. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how things go this week. Um, we will of course return next week, and we'll review both of those shows, and we will look ahead to some of the interesting stuff Stardom is doing.
oh,
They're part
we'll
of the
review the
and the 5-star
GP
blocks.
blocks.
They're
Yeah.
coming out on the 5th. They've made a big show of that, but also there's Stardom is taking part in the Azuri Revolution produce show, which I didn't
I
know was
think it's just
happening.
Hanako.
It's also Ano. Ano is on the poster or on the
Oh, yeah.
website for it. So,
Hanako and Anu, yeah.
and then the Sariism match, which is Spark Rush versus Saya and Tora, will be the Monday after. So we will discuss all of that
Holy shit,
fun
are we gonna have
stuff.
to do 30 minutes
What do you mean 30 minutes?
for that match? Is that
Oh
going
no,
30?
Tora's gonna lose.
Oh, yeah, they don't really care.
Yeah, no, I mean, come on now. Roa and Sari have
She has
every
a title
belt.
match 7 days later, but it doesn't
That
matter.
has literally, yeah, never. That does not cross their mind anymore. So don't worry. Um, that was all for Stardom, I believe. So we can jump over to Marigold, which is always more difficult because it's harder
Their
to
website
find
doesn't
Marigold
exist.
stuff, and their website is bad. Yes. There is news from Marigold. Victoria Yuzuki, Rei Seto, and Misa Matsui are missing this weekend's house shows due to what is being called a United States tour. Now, the less intelligent among us, that's mean. That was a bit mean.
That's
The
you.
more hopeful among us were thought that this
Among
had
Us.
something to do. I hate you. The more hopeful of us were
There you go.
saying, "Wow, these wrestlers are obviously going to be involved in WWE Evolution,"
The
and
Evolution Battle Royale,
yeah,
of course.
as if they wouldn't get eaten alive by the backstage politics the second they try to walk back there. But I think most of us have come to the realization that they are gonna work Sukeban. Sukeban needs new people because Arisa Nakajima retired. They're probably not flying out just Natsuki Tayo, and you also announced her retirement, so they do need new faces. There's a render going around that looks exactly like Yuzuki and Rhea. So yeah, I think they're gonna work Skiban, and that's why they're gone. And that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. I think
Kind of, yeah, to an extent.
it gets them visas, which was obviously the problem this year. Uh, Famously, Marigold just didn't show up in Vegas. I'm assuming because they underestimated the difficulty of getting visas as an independent company. Um,
They couldn't get a venue as well. Those things cost like
yeah,
10 grand. I
I think it
don't.
was just yeah,
I
but
don't
I
think
think
Rossi realized
it
because
gives them a better foothold in America just from a like literal
it
travel
doesn't.
standpoint.
Skiban does not count
But it
in that
literally
regard.
gets you visas. Like that's just a factual thing that is true.
But I don't think they care. I don't think they're gonna run America. I don't think that's their focus at all.
I think they will probably run America next WrestleMania weekend.
I I don't know. I think that you would have to have a collective-esque thing bringing them on, and I don't know if anybody likes Rossi enough to do that. When you can do Tokyo Joshi Pro, Marvelous, or Stardom instead, and they're a lot more easy to work with. So I'm not sure.
I don't know. Are you debating the idea that visas are good to have for the for
I would
Joshi
rather
wrestlers?
Victoria Yuzuki never deal with American wrestling and Misa Matsui.
Jesus.
They do not
Okay.
deserve that. They don't deserve JCW shows. Come on now.
Right. You're just difficult.
I'm not
But
difficult. I'm just keep our best away from America. That's all.
but anyway, to be fair, Senka had like her best match this year in America. Let's be
Yeah,
fucking
but
honest.
that's because
Um,
Chigusa Guy was like, "Hey, can you book her against Aja?" And they said, "Yeah, obs."
yeah, that whatever. You're like it doesn't matter. But I think it also just like kind of fits them, the bunch of them. Like it kind of it like Rhea obviously being an anime character, kind of shocker. But also like Misa, I think from a just character and uh look standpoint fits the vibe, and Yuzuki fits the style of just kind of like doing crazy shit at like 20%. Like she can do that pretty easily. Um, I think it's cool.
Okay,
And like I said, it gets them a vacation. They get to go to America, get paid very well, and have visas. So
okay.
I think it's a net positive.
I can't bring myself to care. Did the last Skiban show even air? Like,
No,
will anybody even
yeah,
see
no,
it?
the
Like,
British one
who the
did
hell
not air.
cares? Honestly, what a weird company.
You could have gone to that.
No.
Sorry, Brit.
All right, I'm ending the show here. We're not standing
I
for this.
told you it's July. I'm back.
That's crazy. On Noah's Wrestle Magic pay-per-view, Takumi Iroha defended the GHC Women's title against Victoria Yuzuki. She won in 13 minutes and defended the title. And afterwards, Utami Hayashishita came out and they stared down, and
She
Utami
gave her a
gave
rose.
Takumi a rose, and that was that. But the match itself was pretty good. Peps kind of messaged me and said that this would have been better in either of the main feds because the crowd didn't fully give a damn about it. And obviously, if this happened in like
It was also just
Marvelous or Marigold, it
a
would have been a hot
semi-main.
match.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it was also just like and the show before it was a bit of a slog. It wasn't that good. It was pretty like it wasn't bad. It was pretty consistently like fine. Um, but yeah, I mean like it wasn't like a Monday Magic crowd, which is really
yeah,
into everything anyway. So it was just kind of a yeah. It didn't the atmosphere wasn't great, but
yeah.
I still thought the match was very 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 good.
Hmm.
I appreciate a good like 75-25 Takumi match. Like I think that's always a lot of fun. That's what this kind of was. Maybe like more 70-30, because Yuzuki did get her shit in. But I thought I always I'm appreciating those this year because she really carries herself like a master. Um,
Yeah,
in those sorts of matches. I thought that was the case here. She's steamrolling her way into my like wrestler of the year conversation. It's great.
that's
Happy
good
for her.
because she's great. And this match showed a lot of reasons why. She was relentless at certain
Yeah,
points, and just kind of really ate Yuzuki alive.
it doesn't really matter because it's marvelous and not Marigold. But I do want to mention that Rico and Maria had their most like complete showing as a heel team
Yeah.
to date last week against Chika and Aoki, Chikayo and Aoki. Um, Very good match. They lost. Very funny. Um, Twin Star champions just losing like it's nothing. Um, but that was their best showing to date. So I'm kind of more excited for what's to come with them as heels.
Hmm.
And also Spark Rush is fucking insane, bro. Like they're so fucking good.
Oh, dude, the Conti theme song,
Theme song
fantastic.
also a banger. It sounds like a Crush song. Like it
It
just sounds like
does,
a
yeah,
Crush
very
Ghost song.
crush coded. Yeah, I know Maria really pulled the heel look together. I think the pink hot pants
I
works
like
for
the
both
pants
of
a
them.
lot more.
The bandana on Maria's face as well, I
Yeah.
think is a nice visual because that's one of the oldest tricks in the book for Joshi is just wear like a bandana or a mask over the bottom
Yeah.
half of your face and you look instantly cooler. And
Mhm.
Maria has taken that
Fucking
to
Saya
such
did
a
that shit.
yeah,
Saya said,
yeah,
"I'm getting
dude,
that
Saikamatani.
dumbbell mask. Let's go."
Psy Queen
Um,
masks. They were
yeah.
cool. I like those.
Like so, yeah. I think the look is a lot better. It fits them more.
Yeah.
Also, like I thought the like grunge just did not work for them at all.
Yeah,
They
they
could be
always felt like
heels.
they were cosplaying like D6 or something like
Yeah.
that. Like very, we watched Ozaki tapes and copied her instead of having their own identity. Um,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It felt very like it put on, whereas I think
yeah,
like you can be a heel while still wearing pink, and I think
yeah,
that's kind of their lane that they're gonna find, and that match kind of showed that they are finding it a lot more effectively than they were maybe at first. So just wanted to bring that up because they are the tag champions. It's of note.
yes, of course. Now we then had one show to review for
Mm,
Marigold. This was on the 28th of June, in the Cascabe Fure Cube. Furea Cube? Furai Cube? Anyway, this aired yesterday. This is where I usually say the attendance, but they didn't announce an attendance, so I don't have that for you. It did look full, in fairness.
mm.
They have had all the venues they've run recently have looked pretty full. You can tell they're
The
like in a
atmosphere
much
was good here
healthier
too.
position.
Like it wasn't like for a just kind of
There was a point where the
house
crowd
show.
was chanting for somebody, and I was like, "What is this?
Hummingbird.
What are you doing? It's a house show." There
Humming,
was one guy
humming,
who adored the
humming.
hummingbird. He
No,
was like,
there were
"Humming,
people
humming."
he got it going. Shouts out to that guy. He got it
It was
going. But
nuts.
they were chatting for real for it.
It
I
was.
was here for it.
Yeah, it was fun. So the show opened with Seri Yamaoka beating Koki and Megaton in 5 minutes. This was so fun. Megaton was like, "Koki, we're teammates. Let's do it. Come on, we're
Mm.
pals." And Koki was not going for it. And I was like, "Koki, you're gonna get on my bad side real quick if you don't get on board." But Seri was just the perfect like straight man to play off of this, and
Yeah, I mean,
Koki as
like
well
Koki
was so
was
confused
like,
the
you know
entire
what?
time.
Okay, I guess whatever, fine. Just I mean, we're wrestling, but okay. And Sari was just like, no, I'm fucking concussing both of you bitches.
Yes.
Let's go. Like it was fucking evil. Like Sari always looks like she's having the worst time ever, except for when she was choking the life out of Megaton.
Yeah.
That's when
Or when she's with
full
Shino.
cheesing.
She loves
Huh?
Shino.
Oh
Seri,
yeah,
she
with
loves
Shino.
Shino.
Yeah.
She's loving life every time she's around her.
And Hummingbird. She made Hummingbird open a TikTok.
That's
They do
true.
TikToks together
That's
now.
true.
even though they're
She
like
respects. She
20
respects the
years
real.
in age difference, I think.
That's crazy. I had no idea. But yeah, this was a
Yeah, I
fun
think
match.
in like mid 30s.
Megaton at one point kept interrupting the pins, and they both just kept slapping the shit out of her. And I was
Yeah.
like, this poor woman. She's so good. I'm sorry. I know we say this every week, but Megaton is just so good and so interesting. Like every match of hers, you can find stuff to talk about, which is not it does not go for a lot of pro wrestlers. Like I just really love how interesting she
Bro,
is, and I don't know. I thought
Sari,
everything was good
because you're
and
right.
fun.
Megaton broke up a pin, and Sari got up, grabbed her by the hair, and just fucking bitch slapped her.
Yeah,
And she
it was
just
crazy.
fucking fumbled out of the ring. I was like, God damn, that's fucking harsh. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was here for it. It was a fun match.
Sari showing just by
Mm.
being a meanie. Koki did help Megaton after she like was about to go backstage and then went over and helped Megaton back instead. So she did open her heart a little bit. And this is how they're gonna get Koki over. Her being nice to Megaton is gonna finally break her through the barrier and get people to cheer for her. Maybe.
Sh- She's not like unpopular. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know where this idea
I
that she
feel
like
like
is
they aren't happy that Gochka lapped her. I feel like
probably not.
Rossi
No, you're
sits
right
there
there.
and stews over the fact that Chica got so much more over than Koki out of that feud, and so he's pressed the Megaton button to try and help.
Yeah, but I think it's this is a case of Koki and Chica both being popular would be for the best. Both being like super over would
Yeah,
be ideal.
I don't know if it'll work, but
And I think Chica is just like more endearing and
yes,
like likable,
a better
frankly.
wrestler.
Also a better wrestler,
Chica
yes.
is really
Uh,
good,
yeah,
as we'll talk about.
yeah, in like 10 seconds. But yeah, I think you know putting Koki with Megaton, showing making Koki kind of have like a another layer to her makes sense. You know, of her being like the person who's helping someone else. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? You couldn't do that with I think that's maybe not one to one, but I think that's kind of the problem and why they're going with Megaton and Koki is because Koki was meant to be the one that like gets further than Chikagoto and kind of like is like, come on, Chica, let's go. Like, you know, like the
mm,
one like encouraging her to come like, you know, keep up with her. And like that was supposed to be like an endearing teamwork, you know, friendship. But Chikagoto, as we just said, is a lot better than Koki, is a lot more endearing than Koki, and is just more advanced than Koki is. So you can't really tell that story and make
yeah,
Koki seem like a good friend who wants to help out, you know, someone she cares about and help them keep up. You can't tell that story with Chikagoto and Koki anymore because Chikagoto's way better than Koki. So telling like a redux of that story with Megaton, very funny, but could be kind of what they're going for.
all right. Um, who would have thought that Sari and Koki would trade in that Sari has the boy haircut now, and Koki
Mhm.
is the girl one?
Yeah.
Because Koki obviously first shot to fame with a lot of us as a drag idol, and Sari was just muscle girl. You know, Sari has found her spot. I think Sari, I think accidentally leaked Sari's new gear somewhere. I saw a picture of it, and I was
Oh, I
like,
didn't see it.
with the short hair and this new gear, she just rocks it. Like Sari very quickly has found kind of a vibe that fits her and an aesthetic within wrestling, which I don't think she initially had. But I do think she's put it all together there. But that's for the next week, or maybe when the GP starts. I assume it's GP gear, but I know they leaked it by accident. Um, we then had Chanyota, Mai Sakurai, and Miko Aono beat Chika Goto, Kazuna Tanaka, and Utami Hayashishita in just under 15 minutes. This was so good. My mind was blown. Like they made Gochika a central part of a tag match and had her wrestle Mai Sakurai and Miko Aono, and she just carried it so well.
Yeah.
And then Utami obviously got in to do her shoulder block stuff with Chanyota, of course. Um, like every part of
Kazuna
this
and
was just
Miku
so well
was
done. Yeah,
so good too.
Kazuna and Miku,
Kazuna
like
just Kazuna being
crazy.
like, "I'll kick the fuck out of you," and then just shrieking and crumbling and crying on the floor when she gets kicked in the leg. I was like, "Holy shit, this kid is good!" Like this, like oh, she fucking cooked there too. It was a yeah, it was a very good match.
Definitely the match of the night. I
Yeah.
would say. I mean, which is makes sense. I mean, you have Utami, you have
This was a
Gochika, you have Mai, you have Miku. Like
to
in
be
that
fair, this
alone, you have
was
4 elite wrestlers.
this was an actively good house show, I would say. For being in
Yeah.
Saitama, I thought that like all the matches were at least good. Um, I thought that this match was a standout. But I thought that the next match and the main event were both very good as well. So, but yeah, this match was definitely match of the night, and a lot of it was due to Chikugoto just being a complete beast.
We then
And
had
Chan
my
Yoda also got to do some cool shit too, which
yeah.
sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. But I appreciated her early stuff where she's kind of, like you said, kind of went at it with Utami. Utami pog facing, when
It's so
the
funny.
music didn't play.
Music. Yeah.
That was crazy. Chica's like, "Oh, I'm doing that later. Don't worry." And Utami's like, "What the fuck just
So
happened?"
it's so weird. I said this on Twitter. She went from having 2 facial expressions ever to just reacting in the
She,
most extreme ways to everything. And I don't know
I
what
have
flipped the switch for her.
I have notoriously been hesitant about doing factions in this company. One of the reasons is because I don't think Utami should ever lead a faction ever again, because having that responsibility led her to just be like the most like just the most stone-faced person ever. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, she like if you just like don't make her like be the leader at all times always, she's way better.
Yeah.
Like, and she emotes more, she's more fun, it just all works better.
I agree. Our next match then was Mayu Utani, Mirai, and Victoria Yuzuki beating Chiaki, Misamatsui, and Nagisa Nozaki in just under 17 minutes. It was a good match. You could tell Nozaki liked her opponents. This is one of
Yeah.
those Nozaki matches where she was actually trying and doing her shit.
Yeah, we
Um,
asked how Mayu would function with a fucked up rib. She didn't wrestle.
yeah, I
She did the
know.
crawl did the crowd brawling and then didn't tag in and then did like a super kick later on. I think that was pretty
Yes,
much what she did. Which hey,
she's a very
like
funny woman.
you get her there. The crowd is happy to hear her say "Konbanwa" after the match. She does a super kick. She does some crowd brawling with Chiaki. Mayu loves Chiaki. I don't know if you could tell.
Yes, yeah.
She
They
just
did
she loves Chiaki and
the
Matsui a lot
they did
from
the
the
autograph thing on the outside, and I was like, okay, Mayu likes Chiaki. Mayu loves Darkness Revolution. Darkest
yeah, she
Revolution loves
really likes
Mayu.
these guys.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Because yeah, Mayu's always like Matsui is like the best wrestler. What the fuck are you talking about? Like she,
Yeah.
like how did nobody tell me about her? And her and Chiaki always kind of pair off and just like kind of do bits outside and stuff. Um, and I like her and Nagisa in the first match that Mayu was here, basically. Outside the Nai one, they paired off and were having a lot of fun. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
Mayu against Darkest Revolution is a pretty perfect pairing. But also Mirai got a lot of Chiaki, as she does, and I was very happy to see that.
Yeah. All right. We then had the first of 2 gauntlet matches for the Dreamstar Grand Prix. Rei Seto earned the first spot by beating Minami Yuki, Naoshikawa, and Yuka Yamazaki. Yuki and Naoshikawa went to a 5-minute draw and were both eliminated to start. Minami Yuki had new gear,
Good
still
gear, yes.
kept the green and black,
It's
but
better gear.
it's
It is,
more like uniform for sure.
and
Like everybody else kind of has
it
similar
looks
gear.
it looks better as a just wrestling gear. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
stand out, which is for the best because their old ones stand out in the worst way. Stood out in the worst way. Like I think in action, this one looked fine.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I did think after the draw now threw this like sideways glare at Yuki that made me wonder because we had pitched that maybe this was what would have now go off the deep
Set her
end
off.
and fully
Yeah.
go gigaton, and I think her drawing with a rookie and getting eliminated might be what does it because she didn't look
Mhm.
very happy towards Yuki afterwards. That's maybe cope because I'm very upset at the result of this, but I'm gonna try and spin it. We then had Rei Seto beat Yuka Yamazaki in just under 4 minutes to earn her spot, and that was a fun exchange there. Yuka slots in really well. The crowd was into it. Rhea looked good. Like they this first half of the gauntlet was definitely the less interesting one, but I thought they all did
Yes.
well.
Yeah. I mean, I think this match against Yuka kind of illuminated why Rhea is the better choice. I know,
No,
I know.
no,
I'm sorry.
no,
Boo. Yeah, I know, I
no.
know, I know.
I'm gonna
Um,
fight. I'm gonna
but no,
fight. We have time.
I think
I'm gonna fucking
Rhea
fight.
I think Rhea slots in better. I think Rhea has stylistically is a more reliable wrestler about against the entire roster, and I think
I
that's fine.
disagree entirely. And I don't know. This result pissed me off because as a not even as a now shooter,
You
but as
hated
somebody
now until
just
like
as somebody who
the
has
Miku
watched
match.
Marigold from the very beginning, it's like when are you gonna do stuff for people to invest in outside of like four people? Like now Ishikawa is such an easy thing to do.
I think it's
She
just
was with
now.
Nanai for 6 months, then Nanai abandons her and she gets overlooked for Syuri, which is already gonna annoy enough people. Now she gets overlooked for Rhea. And it's like this woman who did so well and was so popular when Marigold wasn't really doing all that well is just thrown aside for two prospects, and there's nothing to grasp hold of. Like, why should anyone give a damn about Rhea Sato? They've given us no reason. Same with Koki.
Because she's
And
good
it's
at
like, at
wrestling,
what point are you going to do
and because
stuff that
Koki
makes
is
me go, I want to root for this wrestler? Because now Ishikawa, Gochika, I want to root for them. And it's largely because Rossi went, I prefer my project over you, fuck you. And it worked for Gochika because she's great. But now Ishikawa is not going to be able to make this work if she is stuck drawing with Minami Yuki for the rest of her life. Like I don't get it. At what point are we doing stuff? At what point are you telling narratives? Like at what point are you giving people reasons to root for your roster that isn't just, hey, here's a good house show tag, because you need more than that. You do. Rossi used to be good at that, but he's not doing it here. He hasn't done it at all, and it's really annoying because he messed up. He messed up the Utami thing as well. Like I've said this since Utami won the belt. Her entire push to winning the title was fucked from start to finish and badly told. And now nothing else is happening with anybody ever. And now you have now Shikawa,
oh,
who's popular
wait, okay,
and
I'm
getting overlooked for his projects, who aren't like infinitely more over than her. And I'm just like, what's the point? What are we doing here? When are you going to give me reasons to root for anybody?
I I'm not quite following your logic here.
Why?
Like, I think, okay, I think now Ishikawa in a vacuum is a different conversation than the ability to get wrestlers over overall in Marigold and get them rooted for. Like, I don't think, frankly, that now Ishikawa is like their priority to get her over. She's over. So they just put her there. I mean, we talked about with your TEW save where it's like, oh, when you like someone but they aren't really what you're looking for right now, you put them to the side, don't book them for a few months, and then you bring them in. Like, I just don't think now Shikala is their priority, and I don't think until she, like, I don't know, kind of has a shining moment again, unfortunately, because after the Sari one, yeah, some sort of falling out with with Nanai seemed to have happened, and that was completely shot dead, unfortunately. Um, so it's like I think now needs a second, like a shining moment. I get that, me and you both were like she can get that into Dreamstar. That's why we wanted her in the first place, um, so she can have that moment, so she can find that moment easier. But I don't think that this is like an indictment on the entire company. I mean, we were just talking about Chikagoto. Chikagoto, you're right. Like at first, she was passed over for Koki, but I don't think that that is just going to be the story of her career now, because that's not the story of her career right now. Like she is her own popular wrestler who is going to have her own path that will in a lot of ways coincide with Koki's, because of course it will. They were tag team partners at the beginning, and that was the story initially, was that Chikugoto was the second. But now I think we're already at the point where it's like there are reasons for you to like Chikugoto, because she's an endearing wrestler who tries fucking hard, who wants to beat the fuck out of Mayu Utani even though she knows she's gonna die the second that singles match happens. There are valid reasons to like a lot of these wrestlers. I think they just don't particularly care about now and her upward trajectory at this moment. I think that's about it. Like I think from that point of view, it's a bit like them caring more about Rhea than now is not a shocker to me, even if it is, in some ways, you know, fucked. Like I think I agree on the like loyalty aspect that now probably should get more. And I've been saying she should get more. She should be a white belt challenger. I think it's insane that she isn't a white belt challenger. Like that's my stance. But like I don't think it's this insane uh you know, like I said, an insane indictment on the company that they picked Rhea over now. Like I think that's a pretty fair uh choice to make because Rhea has been a lot better this year than now has. That's just the truth.
Um, I would say Rhea has been given more chances to do well though. And this is a
But
conversation
not
that
even
comes up
she
with
was
other
first given a
wrestlers where
she
it's
was first
like,
given a
okay,
chance because
no,
she had a
listen,
great
listen, listen, listen,
singles match
listen,
with
listen,
Yuzuki.
listen, look.
Linda,
Like
yeah.
this is this is brought up, and it's like, well, this wrestler has had a better year than now, and I'm also as like, well, yeah, because they're in main events with like Utami and
Yeah.
shit, and now
I
is
mean,
not.
Rhea
Like if
Seto has had a
now
better year than
Ishikawa,
Hazuki. That doesn't mean she's a
yeah,
better wrestler than Hazuki.
but
I
like if
get what you
now
mean.
Ishikawa was put in the main events with Miko Iono, you cannot tell me that she wouldn't have great exchanges with Miko Iono. Like like her and Utami would
Specifically
probably
Miko
be
Ano,
great
of
in a main
course.
event. Like
And specifically Utami,
like,
yes.
and that's what Rhea Seto has been in for most of the year. She's been in those main events, the third woman in main events. Like if you put now in that spot, I think she would do just as well, if not better. So like, I don't really buy the Rhea Seto has a better year thing, and I don't think that's what they're using to judge this because, as I always go back to, Koki's in this tournament.
Yeah,
Koki
but
has
okay,
not had a good year.
we're looking at layers here. We're looking at
We
layers
are
here
looking at layers,
of
but this is what I mean. Why are all these projects in and not now Ishikawa, who is naturally over, who is a
because why would you
founding
stop
member,
working on your project for a month and a half
because she has no
for just a
knee.
random person?
You can't hit her finisher. Koki cannot hit her finisher. She literally cannot hit the fucking amethyst
Okay,
butterfly without squashing people's faces. Like,
so she needs a new
don't put her in the
finisher. Like
tournament.
that is that the problem?
No, just don't put her in the tournament. She has one
Why
knee.
wouldn't you put her in the tournament?
She has one knee,
So does
and it's
Ami,
not
and
that
she's probably
good.
winning the fucking tournament in the other company. Like that's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean.
that's
Like
Stardom.
that is a
They tell
project. Like
stories over there.
everybody has
Stardom. They tell
projects.
stories over there. Don't listen.
Oh
They tell
my
stories over
god.
there.
Oh my god. Don't no, because I'm not even
Marigold is
like
meant to be better.
that was
Don't
not a
compare
dig. That was
Marigold
not
to
a dig at
Stardom.
Stardom. That was not
Marigold
a
is
dig
meant to
at
be
Stardom.
better
Because
in your mind.
I get it. No, not
Don't
even
say
don't
Stardom
put words in my
is
goddamn
allowed to
mouth.
do it.
Don't put word in
No,
my
because
goddamn
you
mouth.
can't compare them. You cannot compare Koki to Ami. One is meant to be
They're
better than
apples
the
and
other.
oranges, but you can compare fucking fruit, Alex. You're
No,
allowed to
one is
compare
meant to be
fruit.
better.
No, that's not my point. No, I'm not saying that like first again, you're putting words in my mouth and I don't appreciate that. My point is that Ami is probably winning the tournament and that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like that we'll see how that goes. I think she could do well. You're saying that like if we're doing 1-to-1, Ami shouldn't even be in the tournament? I would never fucking argue Ami shouldn't be in the tournament. That's insane.
it was
And I
Stardom
think
still have
Ami and
like
Koki are
25
in
people in
similar
that thing.
are in very similar standing points. I don't think Koki's winning the tournament, but I think from a roster positioning point, they are in very similar standings. They both should be in the fucking tournament there that the company's about to have. Way more than now
No,
Shikawa
I just
or I'm
think every
sorry,
argument
like
against now can be used even more against Koki, but nobody seems to do it. When now Ishikawa
because
is a better wrestler and is less injured than Koki. So
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I mean,
And even
they both
on the
at the same
injury
time.
front, because you brought this up beforehand, they were going to put Shozuki in with no elbow or a
Okay,
shoulder, so they don't care. Like now
now
Ishikawa could have
Ishikawa
got
had
it.
an ovarian cyst that she recovered from in like 4 days. They were like, shit, she's probably out for a couple months. And then she came back the next week. Like, that's pretty, like, I think that's a fair, like, okay, yeah, who cares? She'll just miss because she just hasn't been, like, she's missed a handful of weekends this year. I'm not saying that that's, again, like a valid reason, like, oh, for her to be completely skipped out on for the tournament. But like this year has not been good for now. She like it just hasn't been. Like I don't think anybody can argue that it has been. And unfortunately, some of it comes down to luck and appreciate and like the office liking her. Like luck is poor because the one story she was going to enter into, Yuka Mashiro, decided, I want to sign with 0-1. That's tough. Like, that was now story. It's gone. So she doesn't do anything for the first few months. And then again, like, I just think, like, I think Nanai went to training and was like, yeah, I like Sari more. Let's team with her. And that fuck now. Like, I think it all comes down to now just isn't as over with the office, and now has had bad luck, so she hasn't really had the opportunities to get more over with the office immediately. Like, I think that's just truly like, if you want to be as like, oh, wrestling sucks because it's all a bunch of politics and semantics, that is the truth. Like, she hasn't had a great year because she's had bad luck. She hasn't been put in as many positions, like you said, to have a great year. But even so, like, what is that a sign of? Oh, the office just isn't that high on her. She's not a priority. Rossi doesn't see her as a priority. Like, that's just the nature of the beast sometimes. Like, Tam Nakano wasn't a priority for 4 years in Stardom. Her first 3.5 years, she was not a priority, like, whatsoever. Like, that's just the truth. She wasn't in the tournament for her first. Well, no, she got in over Natsuko, but she lost every match in that tournament, and they didn't really have anybody to put in that goddamn tournament. Half the tournament was foreigners. I know I'm comparing to Stardom again, but that's old Stardom, so I think it's a bit more apt of a comparison. Like, when the roster is stacked to the point where you want pretty much everybody in, like, I'm upset Komomo isn't it. I think Komomo should have gotten it because Komomo's been great since she came back this year. Like, I think when the roster's stacked enough to have very limited spots, like, I get it. I get now missing. And some of it is unfortunate where it's like, oh, the office just doesn't seem to care, and that sucks. But a lot of it is also just that now's unlucky. Now has had some key spots that she's had to miss for one reason or another this year, and she just hasn't, like, put up many results this year, and she isn't as much of a priority. Like, those two things can coalesce into being one big reason why she's not in. I don't think it can be, oh, well, she's like Koki in this sense. Oh, well, she's like Ray in this sense. It's that she's like, she has the thing that, like, it's a unique thing. They coalesce into one thing that makes it a problem. And I don't even think it's a problem. I think if it was 20 people, she would probably get it. Maybe not though. She lost to Yuki Minami, so or she drew with Yuki Minami.
She
So
drew with
that's
Minami.
not great. Like, that's where I was like, oh, that's shitty. Like, her specifically drawing, like, I was like, oh, now starting the match, she can go in, beat Yuki Minami, beat Yuka, and then lose to Rhea and kind of keep her sauce. They did not do that. That's what I was annoyed about. I was like, that's stupid, bro. At least, like, make now look kind of good in defeat, and they didn't do that. That's where I was annoyed. But I don't think it's a shocker or particularly, like, upsetting that now's not in the tournament overall because, again, it's nature of the beast. It's how wrestling works sometimes. If Unimon isn't in the 5-star, if the 5-star is 20 people and Unimon isn't in it, I will be like, that's a bummer, but not surprising. Like, that's just the truth. And I think
I
Unimon's great. Same thing with half of the Stardom roster. Like, if you broke it down to 16, 18, 20 people for the 5-star. If they do that, there are a lot of great people who are going to be missing it. And it's a shame in the same way that's a shame that now's missing it. But I don't think it's like this indictment on the company at large.
It is.
Just like I don't think
Ryoga should see
it's
jail.
an.
And
All
he's
right.
not allowed out till he tells an engaging story that doesn't involve Marvelous.
That's
That's what
insane.
I.
I don't
That's
know.
what I.
Like, I think that's just wild. I don't know.
I don't know. He's kind of botched his biggest stories so
I thought
far, for the
I
most
don't know.
part.
I'm not going to just
I
start
he
pointing out
has.
stories that I
I don't
like.
know. He's botched some of them.
Oh,
You
he's
know,
definitely botched some of them. I think some of them have fallen flat,
Tommy.
but I don't like all
Tommy.
of them.
Keep pointing to Tommy. Awful,
I
awful
thought
rise through the card. You know.
I don't know. I've liked Utami's reign post Bozilla, like, since Bozilla pretty much.
Sure, but her winning it
Uh,
was so badly done that I didn't want her to win,
I didn't think it was.
and have wanted
I
her to drop ever since.
I
So
don't think it was badly done. I think it was just
it was
blandly
pretty
done.
badly done.
I think it was
It was,
pretty,
it
like,
was
it was
pretty bad.
pretty uncreative is what I would call it.
Mm,
I wouldn't call it like
That's being very generous. I don't know.
objectively bad. Like I just thought it was uncreative.
I still think he should see jail for the Out Award show. But that twin star stuff was awful.
Well, yeah. Okay. See, like you're
So
like I agree. Like I'm
I don't
not
know.
disagreeing that
I'm
the
very
worst of
down on
Marigold
Rossi
has
this
been
year.
shit.
I'm really down on him, and then him screwing over Naoshikawa makes me kind of go, you know what? Screw this
Again,
guy
like
because I'm just not into
motherfucker, you just
Rossi
don't be
Ogawa this
listening.
year. He's just very annoying this
No,
year,
that's
and
that's a
he's adding
valid
to his case against
that's a
himself.
valid stance. I'm just
And when
amazed that
Misa Matsui loses her next white belt match or red belt match, I will be back on
see
the
that
case.
that's a great example. That is one thing that I absolutely fucking hate. That's something I can agree with you on. I think
Yeah,
that the fact that
it's all
Misa
building.
Matsui has
It's all
lost like
building.
10 fucking title
It's
matches
all
sucks.
building against him.
But
That's all I'm
like, and that's
saying.
a valid
And it's
thing.
getting
That's a
very
valid thing
annoying.
to be annoyed about. That's a valid thing to be annoyed about. Now Ishikawa not being in the tournament just isn't that.
I
That's where
think
I'm at.
she is. I think she's
I just
better than multiple people in the tournament and would have better tournaments than them. And that's all I can say on that.
I
The
don't
second
agree.
gauntlet, well, she'd be better than Chiaki. Let's
Well,
just be
yeah, but
honest.
Chiaki's like a night off, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think now could be to an extent, but I don't know.
But you would be pissed if
Anyway, the
they treated
gauntlet,
now like they did Chiaki last year. You would be annoyed. Let's just move
maybe.
on.
The gauntlet. Senka Akatsuki beat Hummingbird, Komomo Manami, and Nagisa Tachibana in 9.5 minutes to
I
claim the
really like this.
final spot. This was way better. Komomo and Tachibana was fine, but then Senka and Senka and Komomo was pretty nuts, and then Senka and Hummingbird was really, really good. Um, you don't really get to see a lot of Senka on offense because Marigold has, or not Marigold, Marvelous has her selling a lot, and obviously the match everybody would have seen against Azure Kong was just Azure Kong
Beating
95%
her up
beating her.
in 4.5 minutes. Yeah.
So like seeing her in Marigold getting to actually do offense, it's funny that she wrestles exactly how you think she would based on her vibe. Like even when she's just throwing shoulder tackles and lariats, you're like, yeah, that's exactly how I would expect Senka Akatsuki to wrestle, and it's very interesting to
Oh yeah,
watch.
her finish is like a weird, like a kind of twist body slam.
Yeah,
And then the pin, obviously.
she does
Uh,
a spinning.
yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like, I agree. I think as much as I'm pretty happy with the marvelous Marigold feud, Sanka needs to wrestle somewhere with a future belt or a
Yeah,
junior belt or like Diana, Sendai, Stardom, somewhere that she could be like the best of the youngins, like and be treated like it. Because she's about to get her fucking shit kicked in this tournament. Like she is amongst wolves. Like she's about to just be selling 90% of the fucking time. Unless she gets super lucky with the block draw. But we'll
she
we'll
could
see.
probably beat up
Um
Kiz.
yeah, I mean she'll beat up like Kazuna, but she might not even win that. But she could get uh, you know get a heavy favorite over Kazuna, maybe against like Misa, just because she's smaller, like just physically. I think Misa will kind of outsmart her, and it'll not end well. It's very hard to find people for Senka to be treated as like the dominant force against because she is so early into her career, and Marvelous doesn't protect anybody unless they have at least 2 years of working, like even a little bit. Like if Rossi said, "Hey, so we're gonna pin Senka in 40 seconds every match, except for the last one, and we're gonna do a little bit of something there," she'd be like, "Yeah, fine. Who cares?"
Yeah,
That's a rep. You know what I mean? Like that's the vibe. So it would be lovely to see her with like the Sendai Juniors belt, for example, because this match was a display of what you can get from Senka against people who are similarly ranked to her. Um and it's really good. Her and Hummingbird fucking cooked, bro. I was watching this with again my friends last night, and I was asked how many moves will Hummingbird do. And I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And they gave me an over under in 4. She did 4 moves in like 12 seconds. I was so pumped. I was like, yes, we cooking. We cooking. We doing shit this time. And Hummingbird killed it. Like Hummingbird also was really good at getting beat up by Senka. It was awesome. Komemo also great in this match. Tachibana also very, very good in this match. I thought this was just a lot of fun. Nothing like
all right.
crazy because it was a 9-minute gauntlet match. You know, you went through 3 matches in 9 minutes. It's kind of hard to make it Great. That is the math, right? Like it was just 9 minutes overall, or was it?
Yeah, 9:43.
Yeah. So it wasn't anything like insane because it was 3 matches in 9 minutes, but a lot of fun.
Yeah. The visual of Komomo like jumping backwards at Senka is stuck into my mind.
Yeah.
She flew into that one. It was very interesting. But yeah, that was good. And Senka gets in, and I had no beef with Senka getting in. She's one of the best, most interesting wrestlers of 2025, and she's a great addition to this tournament, especially because Miyamoto likely was never going to be in it due to her just getting healthy. So
Yeah.
I think Senka is your second best option, considering you're not going to put Iroha in right after failing to take the belt off of Utami. So yeah, Senka's in, and she's gonna be fun to watch, and probably gets a Seri match because she did cut a promo on Seri.
I'm
So I
expecting
imagine her and Seri is one of the big matches.
I'm expecting Senka to be the spoiler on last night against Sari.
Yeah, she should.
Like I think Senka maybe gets a win over like a Chiaki or a Kazuna, uh, and then but she loses every other match except for against Sari, where it can go to a draw or it can ideally Senka could beat her. Um, but yeah, I think she's what stops Sari from going through because I think Sari's probably gonna tear through. As much as from the sounds of it, you probably aren't a fan of that idea.
What?
Oh, I said Sari's probably going to tear through the block and be in contention going into the final night,
Oh,
even though
yeah.
I
I mean,
doubt you're a fan of that idea.
she should probably go to the final and lose based on how Rossi books. So
I don't think she needs to do that. I think there are
probably
other
not, but
ways
she
she
will.
can do it. Also, I'm operating off the assumption that Miku is at least a finalist,
Miku
if
is
not a
winning the
winner.
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Miku versus Sari is the match I would do for that.
Yeah,
Could be.
that's a good point.
Could be. Like I don't think it's a bad match
I used to
necessarily,
think
but
Mayu versus Seri would be it, but I don't think Mayu wins the tournament this time.
no.
So
I could yeah, I don't think Mayu goes to the final.
no, probably not. She's probably falls out. I don't know what the final would be because you'd have to have somebody. They're probably going back to the like push
We'll,
stack
we'll
versus
we will
Booker
see
McCarter thing.
we will see what the blocks are, but
Yeah.
Miku and Mirai will wrestle on the final night. That's my hot
Oh,
take.
interesting.
Either in the final or in the last block match.
Yeah, that
That's
would
what I'm
be
thinking.
that would work. All right. We have two Marigold shows to preview. The first is on the 5th of July in the West Kawagoe. This opens with Now Ishikawa versus Hummingbird.
By the way, just really quickly, um, oh, Hummingbird better win that match so fucking promptly.
I'm not doing the
I will
show next
be
week if that
shitting on
happens.
your grave.
I'm
I
not
will be
doing the
shitting
show
on your
next week.
goddamn
If
grave.
Hummingbird,
And
I'm
people will ask
pledging.
me,
I'm
why did you fly over to Ireland just to shit on this guy's grave? And it's like, oh, it's because the fucking bird's on top, baby. By the way, I hope everybody knows during that Now Chicago thing, I was doing the double, the fingers on the desk thing. You know what I mean? Like that sportscasters do when they get really into it. I was like,
that's crazy.
the speed. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it
Noggin
when this
boiled.
episode drops. The yeah, I'm gonna you'll get it. Um, yeah, I'm Richard win.
If she wins, I'm not doing the show next week.
That's
I'm
fine.
taking a week off.
I'm
Okay.
I'm moving next week, man. I shit.
Since when?
No, yeah,
Okay.
I'm moving. I
Anyway,
told you this. Wait, did I
all
not
right.
tell you
Yeah,
I'm moving?
you didn't tell me it was next week.
Oh yeah, that's a new thing.
Okay, that's great. Thanks. Koki teams with Nagisa Tachibana and Yuki Minami to take on Megaton, Johnny Robbie, and Amira. So, because of the absence of Misa, Yuzuki, and Rhea, Rossi has got in the foreign wrestlers from Marvelous. Johnny Robbie, I'm sure most people know by now, quite talented. Amira is solid. She's probably the like fourth best wrestler in this. So, not bad.
Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Have you seen
Yeah,
Amira
vaguely.
before?
Yeah, she's pretty good, but she's not
Yeah,
crazy. I think she
yeah.
fits fine here. You know, what I mean, like, uh, frankly, I like everybody in this match. Yuki Minami has impressed me enough for me to say I like her. But yeah, I think this match could be pretty good.
All right. Sari Yamaoka teams with Yuka Yamazaki to take on Kazuna Tanaka and Komomo Minami. Sari's probably packing and stacking Komomo there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki take on Mai Sakurai and Mirai. I guess these Dark Wolves or Darkness Rev winning that. I think there might be some miscommunication maybe with Mai and Mirai.
Uh,
That would cost them.
maybe. That's a
Yeah.
hard sell though.
I
Just
don't.
anybody pinning
I don't know.
either of them pinning Mariah.
I
And
think Nozaki
Mai.
can totally get a result over Mirai. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like at this point, Mirai and Mai is probably the big white belt match. Whenever they run the show they're running in October. So you might want to heat it up to some extent, but I don't know. Maybe it's too early. Who cares about all that? Our main event is Miku Yono's homecoming match. Miku Yono and Mai Utani take on Utami Hayashishita and Chika Goto. Awesome. That's gonna be great.
Love that.
Miku and Mayu are gonna win, of course. Miku probably pins Gochika. But yeah, Gochika will put in a very spirited effort and will steal the show.
As she does. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this match will be a lot of fun. I think Kochi getting in on this again kind of shows that she's notably being given the ball a lot more often. Um, but yeah, I'm quite excited for this. This should be a very good match because obviously Miku's gonna. I think the one pitfall it could have is that a lot of homecoming matches recently have been the homecoming star just getting beat up for like 20 minutes and then getting a comeback
Yeah, Miku Yono ain't
that's
doing
like
that.
2 minutes long. I'm hoping they don't do that.
Yeah, Miku Yono
Because
says no.
I don't need to see Utami and Chika Goto beating on Miku Ono. I think we can
That
do
is fair.
something more interesting. Like that, like, I think this match could be great. So I'm excited.
Okay. Sorry. Our next match is on the 6th of July in Niigata, the Higashi Ward Plaza. We open with Hummingbird versus Amira. Probably a win for Hummingbird.
Actually, I don't know. Does Amira win matches?
Well, she lost it to Aoki on the show I watched, so no.
Oh, I think Amira wins then. I don't know. I think if that's the like line. Did Johnny Robbie beat Senka, right? She did. She
Yeah,
pinned
well,
him.
it was for
Yeah.
the title, Johnny
Oh,
holds.
right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah, no, I think the foreigners probably just sweep here.
possibly. You got ahead of yourself. Our next one is now Shikawa versus Johnny Robbie.
I
Fun.
think now over Amira would have made more sense, and then Johnny
Yeah.
over Hummingbird. But I think the foreigners just win.
Yeah, well, Johnny Robbie isn't losing. She's West
Yeah.
Coast Pro champion. Um, for people who remember, Johnny Robbie used to be my op, and
Mm.
now she's gonna beat now Shikawa.
People are surprised that you don't hate her anymore.
I never hated her. It was just like a fun bit.
She just showed up one day and
She
was
did.
around.
She was working CMLL at New Japan at West Coast Pro, and I was like, "Who even is this woman?"
Yeah.
She just popped up out of nowhere. It was insane, but she is good.
I
That's
actually a little birdie told me that they hired uh Johnny Robbie to beat Now Shikawa just to hurt you.
okay, sure. And at this point, I wouldn't put it past Rossi. So me and him are going 12 rounds in hell. I'm telling you that much.
I know.
Boxing like Creed.
I already sold
Um,
tickets over to uh I don't know. Who's somebody that's going to hell? You choose.
I don't know.
I was
A
gonna
lot
say
of us.
like someone yeah, I'll send
The Hulkster. Me and the Hulk Hogan can watch me and Rossi go 12 rounds.
and say you don't know how to work, brother.
Yeah, damn right.
Stick to TAW, bitch.
um, Kazuna Tanaka and Megaton take on Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki. It's gonna be a win for Darkness
That
Revolution.
new Megaton render is crazy.
Yeah, they definitely edited that.
I-
There's no
Like
way her face is that
it
shiny.
looks like AIified. I mean, honestly,
It
these posters
does.
are fucking weird. Like like
They're
if you
very
actually look at
weird.
these, like look at fucking
There's
Nozaki's face. Why does it look like that?
there are some
That's not
demonic
how lighting
presences.
works.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is happening? But
Who's to
yeah,
say
the Wolfies win.
for sure?
Is the yeah.
Our next match is Koki and Miku Aono versus Seri Yamaoka and Chika Goto. That is absurd. What?
Also, wait, random thought. Isn't it funny that the only reason why the heel group isn't called Dark Wolf Army it already left and is in
Yeah,
a different faction? Because like
yeah.
Misa was like, yeah, I'll be in the Dark Wolf Army. Nozaki's like, yeah, I like Dark Wolf Army, and Bozil's like, I'm not being in your army. They could just be
Yeah.
the Dark Wolf Army. Like
Nah,
it
the
doesn't matter.
Darkness Revolution is settled in now. We're good.
I know. Well, they're not going back, obviously, but
No.
it is funny.
Um,
What match are we on?
Miku and Koki versus Seri and Chika.
Ooh, let's go 15. Or
Yeah, probably. I forgot
like
the
Miko over
necessary
Kochika.
TLD. I totally forgot we have to have one draw per show. I will.
Well, we haven't been doing that as much. They still do it. But
Yeah, they do. This is definitely one that they
yeah,
would do
I
it.
think this one probably should go to a draw because the alternative is Chica losing, and I don't want her to.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine Kochika is less protected than Seri. It's just crazy.
She is. Very pinned her.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't know. Mayu Utani, Utami Hashishita, and Komomo Minami take on Mai Sakurai, Mirai, and Yuka Yamazaki.
I will say these cards feel weird without Misa, Yuzuki, and Rhea. Like it just feels like something's missing, which is interesting.
Not really.
Because
I think they're
none of
both
them are
pretty
like.
good.
No, I think they're good. It's just like they feel notable in their
That's true.
absences, and I think that's good for them.
Yeah. The Mayu team is going to win over
Yes.
Yuka, surely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
This
That's
is
that.
a almost all Stardom match,
That's true.
which
Yeah,
is rare these
Komomo,
days.
Stardom trainee, Tommy, Mayu. Well, I guess it depends on what you consider Stardom, because Mai and Mirai obviously were not training
Okay,
there. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
If
that's
you were
that.
trained or wrestled in Stardom for a extended period of time, I consider that
All right.
good
Okay.
enough. But yeah,
Um,
it's just Yuka.
so after this week, obviously we'll review both of those shows next week, and then there's a Shinkiba First Ring show on the 12th. And then there's a very awkwardly placed Korakuen on the 16th. I don't know if that falls under next week or that would be week after. It might be next week. Is that a Tuesday again for Korakuen? No, it's Wednesday.
I have
That's
no
even
idea.
worse. Yeah, we'll figure that out because we'll probably record the 15th and the show will be on the 16th. So not ideal, but what can we do? But we'll preview obviously that Shinkiba First Ring show next week, and there probably won't be much of anything on that. Maybe a Mayu match with somebody, but I'm starting to doubt they'll even run that in First Ring. So yeah.
Yeah, I blanked. I wasn't listening.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, well,
I was
time to
reading
close the
I was
show.
reading a tweet. I was reading a tweet about how all of these absences in the 5-star means nothing, and I was like, I don't agree. This feels
The
like it'll be a rough
copium
tournament.
from Stardom people is kind of crazy. Like, it's okay to admit that top stars are needed. It's okay to
Yeah.
admit that you need great
That's what-
wrestlers. You cannot just aura farm and hope for the best with fucking Amisore and Lady C. Like, you do
Yeah.
need some capable, experienced hands. And it's
Yeah,
okay
but
to admit that.
I expect Velke to get mad at me when he hears this.
He always does, because you are a drone. But anyway, it is time to close the show.
How dare you?
If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever. Stardom Quest Gold Do Passion.
Ijo. We definitely didn't forget anything, did we?
I fucking hope not.
Okay, great.
You asked me after we already said Ijo, like that's it.
Yeah, it's like the
Ijo
post,
means it's
like the
over. That's all I had to
post-credit-
say.
like a post-credit scene.